Hey Jackie, hope you're having a good summer, and I'm very, very proud of you that you are working on your summer math packet. So I'm going to do a couple of the examples for you, and then you can do the last one for yourself. So when you're using the table, and I think you'll remember these once we get going with them, but when you're using the table, you remember you want to work from the inside out. So we want to look at g at -4 first. So, and that's always the x value. So I find the x value up at the top here, and I find -4, and then I go down to the g spot. So that's -3. So g at -4 equals -3. So now I'm going to bring down the f and replace g -4 with -3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that -3 value on the x row. And now instead of going to the g, we're going to go to the f because that's what's in front of the -3. So that one's going to be 0. So this whole thing is going to equal 0. And that's your final answer. Go ahead and try B and C. Pause the video right now and play it when you're ready to check your work. Okay, hopefully you paused it, and if you didn't, shame on you. If you did, good for you. So we got f at -3, so we find -3, we go down to f, that's 0. So bring down the g, I got g at 0 now, so again going and finding the 0 at the top, and now going to find g. So your answer, final answer would be -4. Okay, last one. I've got g of g at 0. So I got to find 0 first, go down to g. That's -4. So I'm going to bring down that first g, replace with -4, and now find the -4 on the x. Go down to the g, so your final answer is -3. Okay, so there's the first couple. All right, the second ones are from a graph. Again, you're still looking at the x values, and you're kind of matching up with the y values. So if you remember that fog, as you probably called it, really means f of g at 0. So it looks like the problems from before. So again, we're going to do g at 0. So first graph is the f graph. The second graph is the g graph. So at 0, when x is 0, that's at the origin, I'm going to go either up or down until I hit the graph on that line. So in this one, I'm going to go up 2 to find out where that graph is when x equals 0. So that would be at a +2. And now I'm going to find f at 2. So I'm looking at the f graph, the one on the left. So I'm going to count over 1, 2 on the x-axis. And this time I'm still going to go up to find that location on the graph, and that's going to be at a +2. So your final answer for this one is going to be +2. So pause the video again, try B and C, and play to check your work. Okay, so in B, you got g of f at -1. So starting on the f graph, count over to -1 on the x. This time we're going to count down to -3 until you hit that graph. So I got g at -3 now. So I'm going to go to the g graph, and I'm going to count over -3 on the x-axis, and I'm going to count down to the graph 2 spaces, so it'll be at -2 for a final answer. And last but not least, f at 0. So starting with the graph on the left, you've got 0. At 0, that graph is at -2. So I'm going to find g at -2. So go over to the g graph. -2 is right here. I don't have to go up or down any on the graph because that the line crosses over that point at -2. So the y value at that point is 0. Whoops. Whoops. What's going on? Oh man. Okay. So your final answer is going to be 0. Okay, so that's type number 2. Type number 3 is with variables. So if you're given this function, f of x, or x squared plus 5x, we want to simplify the expression for f at x plus 2. So what you're doing is you're taking this x plus 2, and you're going to replace every x in the function with that. So you're going to take out this x, and put in x plus 2. And then you're going to take out this x and replace it with x plus 2. And then all you're going to do is just simplify. And remember that this to the second power does not mean this. You probably have summer brain. What that means is you have x plus 2 2 times. And you're probably like, oh my gosh, Miss Mulaney, I know. I'm too good for this. Okay, and then you're going to FOIL this out. Whoops, not a 4x, just a 4. So I've got x squared plus 9x plus 14 for your final answer. Let me know if you have any questions as you're going through the packet. See you in a few weeks.